The room was filled with laughter, the clinking of wine glasses, and the sound of business tycoons boasting about their millions. Fans stood silently in the corner, dressed in a soft lavender sari. Her delicate fingers wrapped around a wine glass she had not taken a sip from. She looked like poetry in motion, elegant, quite ignored. Jungkook had not introduced her to a single one of his friends tonight again. Instead, he was busy laughing with a woman who had her hand badly resting on his chest. His hand did not move when her touched, but she stayed composed. That was the life of Mrs. Jeon, a trophy on a shelf, unseen, unheard, untouched. But tonight was different. As Jungkook approached her with narrowed eyes, clearly irritated that she was not smiling or mingling like the perfect white, he muttered under his breath. Stop standing there like a ghost. Smile. You are embarrassing me. She stared at him blankly. I don't feel like smiling. His jaw clenched. You don't get to decide how to act in front of my colleagues. Then maybe next time don't drag your embarrassment to your party, she said calmly. 1 second, 2 seconds, then slap. A loud, sharp sound cracked through the room. Conversation froze, eyes turned, wine glasses pushed mid-air. Wine cheek burned, but her eyes, they did not water. Everyone went silent as Jungkook realized what he had just done in public. She looked at him with a gaze so cold it could shatter mountains. Congratulations, Mr. Jian, she whispered. You finally become your father. She placed the glass gently on the table, turned around, and walked out of the room with her head held high. And she never looked back. It had been 4 days since that night Jungkook had not come home, but Ryan did not wait. The moment the door opened on the fifth day, and he walked in, she was already dressed, bags packed, carrying removed sindoor wiped clean from her hairline. On the living room table sat a clean white envelope. Divorce papers. What is this? He asked, voice low. My freedom, she replied without flinching. Jungkook's expression twisted with disbelief. You are divorcing me over a slap? Wan laughed bitterly. No, Jungkook, I am divorcing you over every day you made me feel like I did not exist. The slap was just a reminder that you don't love me. He clenched his fist. I never asked you to love me either. This marriage was arranged. She nodded. True, but respect was not arranged, and still you failed to give it. He stepped forward. Why don't? She said, voice swim. I stayed after you ignored me, belittled me, made me feel invisible, but the moment you raised your hand on me in front of the world, you lost the right to call me your wife. Jungkook stood there speechless as she walked past him again, but this time she was not just leaving a room, she was leaving him. Weeks passed, Jungkook returned to an empty house. Sheets and silent walls. Ryan did not even fight for a line. She did not take anything. Not a single piece of jewelry, not a car, not a penny, and that hurt more than anything else. She did not want anything that came from him. Sir, there's a parcel for you, his housekeeper said one morning. Instead, the parcel was a small box and a note. These are the earrings you gave me on our first anniversary. You can give them to your next embarrassment. He stared at the silver earrings for a long time. That was the only gift he had ever personally chosen for her, and she had returned it. Regret punched him in the chest. It had been 3 months there, 3 months since Swayan walked out of his life. There's months since Shankuk divorced. What true silence sounded like. No soft voice seeming in the kitchen, no chime of anchors as she walked, no jasmine scent on his pillows, and now her divorce papers were officially signed. He had not fought them, he could not, he did not deserve to, but God, did it hurt? He sat on the living room couch, scrolling through his gallery, pushing at every stolen picture of her, one she never knew. He took one of her sleeping on the swing, one where she looked up from the book confused, another one where she laughed freely when flour exploded from the mixture. He had loved her, he just never knew how to show it, and when he tried, it was too late. One rainy evening, Jungkook visited her old neighborhood. Her cousin ran a small bookstore there. He had no reason to go, except one hope. Is she okay? He asked hesitantly. The cousin gave him a long disappointment look. She learning to breathe again. Is she happy? Jungkook's voice cracked. She's learning how to be without you, Jungkook lowered his gaze. Can you give her something? He pulled out a letter handwritten, folded neatly. The cousin idea she does not need closure. She found peace, but if she ever wants to read it, I will keep it. It happened on a random Thursday as a gala Jungkook was not planning to attend, but the organizer had begged him, and there she was, Vian. Standing by the balcony, hair loose, eyes soft but not broken, wearing a cream colored dress with minimal makeup, yet glowing. She had changed. Or maybe she had returned to the version of herself he had bridged beneath his coldness. He walked towards her not as her ex husband, not as a man full of pride, just as Jungkook. You look beautiful, he said quietly. She did not flinch, just turned and smiled gently. Thank you. A push. Can I sit for a moment? Sure, she replied, looking out of the stars. There was silence, but it was not uncomfortable. How have you been? He finally asked. Peaceful alone, but peaceful. He nodded slowly. You left a silence that screamed fire. She looked at him then, and you filled my life with noise I could not survive in. I did not know how to be a husband, he admitted. I was cold, distant, arranged. I thought loving you silently was enough, Ryan. Titled her head, but I was not asking for grand love, Jungkook. I was begging to be seen. He swallowed hard. I know. I see you now every day in everything. Another push. Why did you come to talk to me tonight? She asked. Because I am not here to win you back. I am here to tell you you were never the problem. I was for the first time. Her eyes softened. She did not smile, but she did not look nervously. It takes courage to say that. It takes more to walk away like you did. I didn't know you were that strong. She looked back at the stars. Neither did it. They talk for another hour, just two people, no labels. Jungkook's never once asked for a second chance, and maybe that's why her heart softened. Maybe healing does not always come in apologies, but in genius change. When he got up to leave, he frowned lightly like a gentleman. If you ever need a friend, I'm around, he said softly. Why noted, and if you ever fall in love again, Jungkook. He waited to someone You don't have to learn how to treat right. And just like that, she turned and walked away again, elegant, graceful, and this time free. Arrived to Jungkook drops up. I read you later. Thank you for loving me the way you knew how. But I am finally learning to love myself the way I always deserve. Still, if you ever find the version of you that knows how to love and love, maybe we will meet again in another story, Ryan. He smiled with teary eyes. She had not forgiven him, but she had freed him. The end.